What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us here at the Raptors Den. We're going to be talking about some Raptors Summer League standouts as the Raptors approach their final game in the Summer League. I'm Adam, as always. I'm joined with Junior. Junior, are you ready?
Let's go!
Okay, Junior, the Raptors Summer League. Unfortunately, not a ton of games being played in Summer League, but the Raptors have a 3-1 record in Las Vegas. They capped it off with a thrilling last-second victory over the Hornets the other night. And we wanted to touch on some of the top performers on this very, very young Raptors team.
Yeah, I mean, before we get into that, have you seen Jello?
Listen, I think we said this before, and I don't think this is any secret. The man can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
This is known. He will get signed by the Hornets. I'm certain that a deal will be done.
I mean, they'd be stupid not to. I mean,
you know what? Melo will lean. Melo will lean if he has to. Also, right? Yeah. He's got some buying power there. You know, his contract will eventually come up, and if he wants to go somewhere else, he'll have that ability to do so.
For sure.
But yeah, Jello's been great. I don't have his stats readily available. I don't know if you have anything there that you want to share, but I've really appreciated his game. The guy hasn't stopped. He could have thrown in the towel, a couple of years ago if he wanted to, but he's continued to perfect his craft and get better. And, I think in Summer League, he showed people why he can continue to play basketball at a high level, with these guys, and hopefully he gets picked up. And I'd love to see Jello in the league. Why not?
Yeah, I think he will be. I mean, I think he's definitely showed that he's put in the work. So, I mean, 6'5", 230-pound shooter. I mean,
doesn't hurt.
Got to. So he had 16, 10, and 8 in 3 games, and he has shot 62.5% from behind the arc.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. So, pair him up with Melo. Those guys are going to have some synergies, right? So.
But enough about them.
Let's get down to the Raptors. You want to start off? Let's start off with Scottie B.
Okay. So,
is there anything we don't like about just before his game? Is there anything we don't like about this kid's personality?
and I'm going to say it again, and I've said it the entire time before we even drafted him. This kid belongs here. His attitude, the fact that you can see that he's just brimming with enthusiasm and everything that he brings to the game. I mean, when you saw him on the floor in his first Summer League game, he's already a leader, a vocal leader on the floor.
Love talking on the court, man. He's talking, he's getting people hyped up, he's getting people going. He doesn't even know these guys. No. He just got here.
No, and in his first game when he showed out and he had a double-double. I mean, if anyone made some noise, it was him. I mean, obviously there were the other guys who were drafted higher than him that made a little bit of noise, but I think in terms of that ceiling, they really saw what this dude's ceiling is. I mean, yeah, Jalen Green is a scorer. That's all he's ever going to be.
He's going to be perfect in Houston.
Yeah, he's going to be a scorer.
Somebody. Yep.
You look at Cade Cunningham. We just spoke about him.
Extremely quiet.
I haven't been too impressed with him. In fact, I think Luka Garza has outplayed him in the Summer League so far off the Pistons.
We love Luka.
And, we saw Scottie take Kuminga to the hole a few times. And I'm still thinking that this kid may have been the steal of the draft. He definitely could end up being the steal of the draft. And it just goes to show you that Masai already knew, him and Bobby already knew what they were getting. And that's why they were so happy to get him. So, I mean, he averaged, 15 and a half, almost 7 rebounds, almost 4 assists. So basically take his college career and transplant it into the NBA in Summer League. So, obviously once this kid gets a little more direction from Nick Nurse and he gets in with those guys, because, I mean, I think he's probably starting 15, 16 games into the season, maybe a quarter of the way through, this kid's going to be starting. And with the way the Raptors have been built with this positionless basketball, I think that he is going to be a huge piece. The dude can already guard every position on the floor.
1 through 5. He had 5 blocks in that Houston game as well. Yeah. So we need a rim protector. That's something we've been missing. not having Ibaka and Gasol to some degree, and going back a little bit further in Raptors with like a Bismack, that kind of stuff, right?
I mean, Boucher has kind of showed glimpses of being that rim protector. Gillespie has showed, and Precious is looking like a beast down low too. But we'll get to him after. But I think in terms of what Scottie needed to do to show everybody that he is for real, he did exactly everything he needed to do. So if there were 6 boxes lined up, he checked every box off.
Absolutely.
For me, at least.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. He put forth his best scoring effort against the Hornets with 23 points. I mean, he has the ability to hit a whole bunch of stats on that stat line. And what I really love, and how you kind of mentioned, Masai kind of knew what he was getting himself into with Scottie, is, you mentioned it, vocal leader, right? Think of Kyle, think of the Raptors that have done well on this team. These guys like to talk, bring each other up. You don't see, I mean, a rookie's not going to be pointing fingers, but you see him bringing up his teammates and letting him know where the ball is, who your defender is, where I'm at. You know exactly what's going on with him at every moment when he's on the court. And you got to really respect that, because that's going to help you win ball games when it comes down the stretch, right?
And tireless effort. He didn't stop. I mean, diving for loose balls, coming up with timely steals, passing off when he needs to. And he kind of showed some range too. He was hitting some little jumpers from the corner of the arc.
Yep.
And
that was a concern before seeing him play on the in this Raptors Summer League. I wasn't sure that he was going to have that outside shot.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of that mid-range game, and he went to the hole without even thinking twice about it. I mean, he got to the free throw I think about 12 times in one game against the Warriors. So
I mean, look at the size of him too. I mean, he is built to play. We kind of mentioned it off air. Will he be starting for the Raptors by the end of the season? Very, very strong possibility. I don't think he'll be starting at the beginning of the season. But I think there's a bright future for him in Toronto.
Well, definitely. I mean, you have to remember there's still a month left, right? So now
lots of training.
He's going to get in the gym with the team, and now he's going to acclimate himself to that core.
100%.
And he's going to start taking bits and pieces. So he'll take some pieces from Pascal. He'll take some pieces from OG. I'm sure Freddie's going to get in there and give him some of his wisdom. I mean, Freddie learned from one of the best, so he's going to pass that knowledge on to Scottie. And there's some other rookies coming into that have showed a lot of promise. I mean, a lot more than I expected from them in terms of what they were doing on the floor in Summer League. But I think just getting him in that mix, it's going to show Nick Nurse what he has. And the normal trajectory for these kids is they come in, they do the training camp after Summer League, and then they go to the 905 and they play down there until they're ready to come up.
Yeah, every pick has been like that for the Raptors over the last few years.
There's a possibility that this kid could just end up with the team, maybe coming off the bench, at the beginning of the season, just because the raw talent is there. You can see he's got a mind for this game. And, a lot of the intelligent guys, you don't see them going down to the 905 to kind of, get their feet under them. This kid he's NBA ready.
He showed his IQ in these games that he's played, and there's still a game to play tomorrow against the Brooklyn Nets, August 17th at 5:30. So we'll keep an eye out for that. So this is interesting because there is no, with what's going on in the world today, there's no playoff format for the Summer League, and basically it's going to be Boston facing off against Sacramento, who finished 4-0 before they played their last game, which I think is the next day or two. Okay, so moving on from Scottie, let's talk about Precious.
He's precious.
Not too bad, eh? So 16.7 points, 7.3 rebounds, 1.3 blocks, and 1 steal. I mean, we got something for Kyle, and thank you, Kyle, for letting this happen and working with us to make this happen. This is a big piece for us, bigger than I think maybe anybody thought when Precious landed here. I don't think they thought maybe there's going to be that crucial factor with him, but I think this guy is going to have a significant impact on this team.
So trade deadline last year, we covered it, and we talked about potential deals, and the one with Miami was centered around we wanted Duncan Robinson and we wanted Precious. But then they said, you're not getting Precious. And
Hero.
Hero, sorry, it was Hero. We wanted Hero and Precious, and they wouldn't give us Precious or Hero. So they were offering up like I think it was Duncan
It
Robinson.
was Duncan Robinson instead of Hero, yes.
And we didn't want to do it. So, I think Precious was that piece we wanted back then, and Precious is that piece that we got now. And obviously, there's a connection to Giants of Africa here, through Masai and Precious being from, I think he's from Nigeria. I think he's Nigerian. If he's not, I apologize. And I think this multicultural
Nigeria is correct. Port
experience,
Harcourt, Nigeria.
Just the what these guys have had to do to get where they are right now. It's a different path, a different trajectory for them to get from where they were to where they are now. So when you've battled like that, you're battle tested before you even realize you're battle tested. So he's got guys that are not going to back down. They're not going to back down to any issue, any trouble, any challenge. These guys have heart. And Precious came in. I think his first game he had a double-double, 13 and 11.
That's correct.
Hit a couple of threes, so he's got some outside range. And I think he's going to be a nice piece down low, wing defender. So he's got the size that we like. He's in that 6'8" to 6'9", 6'10" range.
Yeah.
Good lateral quicks, long, stretch the floor. So I'm really liking
got that versatility, right?
Yeah.
It's got the versatility that was on full display. A good potential small ball rim protector, which we got to see. He's had a block in each of the contests that he played in. So very, very excited with Precious. Can guard all the positions, for the most part. Maybe a little bit, not so much on the guards, but, he's got some movement and he can clog up the lane. Just trying to see if there's any data on, I'm just seeing, okay, he was 35%. With the free throw shooting. So 17 attempts and only made 6. So we'll have to clean that up because we talk about that often. That free throw shooting is extremely important. But love this kid. I think he's going to do quite a bit for the Raptors. What do you think his role is going to be like, come, mid-October when the season kicks off here?
That's going to all depend on how Nick Nurse wants to run this rotation. The one good thing is that he's got the stretch to play big, to play small, to match any matchup, to have the advantage in each of those matchups. When you look at our guys that we've got right now, Pascal and OG, and even Scottie, they've got some speed, so they can get down the floor in a hurry. So if you want to push transition, they can transition defense. They've got enough speed to get back in time. They've got enough length to close down the passing lanes. They've got enough height to take down smaller players and really bottle them up defensively. Playing help on bigger guys. You've got a guy that's 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot, over 7 feet. You got 2 guys that are 6'8" on you. They're going to be digging at you. So I think the basically the persona that this team's going to put on is they're lunch pail guys, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we said it's like a after your first, really all these guys kind of, there's no true shining star. Some people might say Siakam, and that might be the case depending on what Siakam we're going to see. There's a lot of role player type guys on this, and they just show up and do what their job is and what their assignment is. This team could surprise a lot of people. Let's talk about Malachi because he's had a motor on him. That's been undeniable in Summer League, averaging 16.8, 5.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals. Had some NBA time. Obviously, last year he was down in the 905, highlighted as, I think it was a player of the month, maybe for like December or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looked a step quicker than what we have seen, showing some improvements. His handle looks very, very strong.
Yeah.
So, he looks like he's ready to kind of step in and fill the shoes. Not really for Kyle specifically, as Freddie kind of takes that role, but he's kind of stepping into Freddie's role.
Exactly. That's, I can't remember another situation where you had an all-star point guard leave. In behind him comes a future potential all-star point guard. Absolutely. And then behind him, you've got another potential all-star point guard roll in to fill in that backup role. The wealth of talent that this team has gotten through drafting properly Toronto teams take notice.
Finally.
This is how you draft properly.
Finally, though.
And I liked him a lot. I like his game. I like, the struggle that he's been through. I mean, his dad was very vocal about how the hell you have this kid in the 905 right now. This kid was one of the best defenders and point guards in college basketball. And, here he is now showcasing a bit more playing time. And he's going to get probably the bulk of the minutes that, depending what happens with Dragic, who
I don't think he's going to get a lot of minutes. I think Malachi's the guy.
Yeah, so he's going to get a lot of backup minutes. So Fred's resting, or if there's a small lineup, you're going to put him at shooting guard. You're going to have 2 point guards kind of handling the ball back and forth. So distribution to those guys that are down low, it's just going to open the floor up so much more. And, having the ability, his size, his ability to back the guys down, his outside shot is looking very nice. And
41.4% from outside, 12 on 29.
And his IQ is nice too. And
it's rapidly improving for sure.
Almost 6 rebounds, so he's not afraid to get in the mix, and he's not afraid to play defensively and box guys out on the wing, and that's what you need to be doing, So
he's looked really good in the pick and roll as well.
Yep.
Very sharp, reading the transition very well. There was 2 games where he only had 1 assist, but he was almost, he almost had a triple double that last one. Yeah, that would be interesting.
He's taken like 5-10 steps forward in his progression.
Yeah, huge development. And kudos to him because he would have had to work really hard to kind of get where he is right now. So, okay. Before we move on to the Toronto native, which we will in a minute, Ishmael Wainwright. So the summer league averages 8 points, 5.7 rebounds, 2.7 steals, which led all summer league players. Okay, which is pretty good. That played more than 1 contest. What's your thoughts on Ishmael?
Just another lockdown wing defender with almost a 7-foot wingspan. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
That I think Masai just
7'1" wingspan, 6'5", 235, guard any position.
Just a copy paste. He copy pasted this entire team. He went in, got a my player, and copy and pasted it 7 times and put it on this roster. I mean, the guy averaged almost 3 steals. That's insane. Yeah. That is absolutely insane.
You likely would have led the NBA with 3 steals easily. Now, granted, this is not a seasoned type of player. You're playing against younger guys that don't have necessarily that talent. But I mean, geez, I don't think a lot of people were thinking about guarding or picking him up in the offseason.
No. So you're talking about a guy who's 4 for 6 from 3, so he's got some adeptness at pulling guys out. He can shoot from distance.
Team high 20 against the Warriors.
Yeah, and when you look at the fact that they have so many lockdown wing defenders, it's going to be hard to shoot from outside on this team, and that's good.
It's going to be hard to get inside for the opposing team.
That's the other thing. So when you think about the fact that they're basically going to lock down that half court, I mean, we might not be as proficient offensively, but this is going to be a lockdown team.
That will come when you're breaking down the defense, when you're breaking down the offense of the other team with your sound defense.
Yeah,
that offense is going to open right up. You're going to see a lot of transition, I think, on this team. Once they start the season up.
Well, if you've got a wing defender with averaging almost 3 steals a game, you're going to get a lot of outlet passes. So.
And they're fast, right? So this was a stat line in that Warriors game, which was a huge game for him. So 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 2 assists, and he shot 4 from 6 from 3-point range.
That's I don't. Hey,
I mean this bench that we have, the second line, the second unit. These guys this is bench mob 2.0 official, I think.
This is scary.
I think this team is going to be really, really dangerous on the bench side of things.
Any team that comes in here, they are going to have the understanding that they're coming into a dogfight.
Yeah.
It was already hard to play in Toronto on Saturday nights, Sunday afternoon games. But now you're coming in knowing that you're gonna be hurt.
No, you're gonna need the ice bath right after.
Exactly. You're gonna need a cryo chamber. You're gonna need therapy, and I like that. That takes on that mentality. Like we said, that lunch pail. They come in, they carry that lunch pail Monday to Sunday, and they are here to play every day. And I like that kind of a persona for this team. So I'm really excited in terms of how this team's been put together so far.
Love it. Okay, let's talk about Danilo Banton, the Rexdale native, Toronto's very own.
So he didn't have an outstanding stat line. He started one game, played all four. But what I really liked about his game, so it was about 7.5 points and 2 steals, 2.5 assists, almost 6 rebounds. So, I mean, not horrible, but he's another wing defender. And I saw this clip of him straight up after a guy went into his bag and tried to put 3 moves on him. He took a step back, let the guy do what he was doing, and the minute he pulled up for that jump shot, just swatted it back in his face. That just shows you that he already has that defensive mindset in him, and he knows what his role is going to be on this team.
Yep.
Now, he'll probably see some time in 905 just to kind of get some playing time in because he might get lost on the bench.
Yeah.
But, give this kid a year, develop. When he comes back up here, and he's got the tools, because the great thing that we do with 905 is it's almost like a soccer team, right? Like we've got a practice squad and then we've got our team. And because they're in the same city, call-ups are like this.
Oh, yeah. And, they're, 30 minutes away.
Yeah. So when you've got the ability to do that, you utilize it it's a business, right? So if you're here and you need something from here, you pull it, you put down, and you get what you need. And I think this is going to be one of those guys that after that year of putting in his time at 905, he's going to come back and his skills are going to be polished. And because the in-game system that we have in with the Raptors, the 905 have that same in-game system. So in terms of playbook, in terms of everything, you're already acclimated because it's doing the exact same thing in the 905 that you're doing with the Raptors. So
yeah,
in terms of having that acclimation, this kid's going to come in. I mean, he's not going to be a superstar, but this kid is going to be like 6th man of the year type guy. And
yep, definitely definitely got that role player vibe from him, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who can come in, knows the role, contributes. He looks like a grinder, sacrifice the body. This kind of player, right? So I'm excited to see what more he can do. But yeah, he's going to need some time, I think, in the 905 to really sharpen up some of those skills. And the Raptors do very well with players when they bring them to the 905. They're often, a player of the month or whatever the case might be when they go down there. So excited to see what happens with Banton here, the Rexdale Toronto native. Okay. You want to talk about some of the other rookies in the league that were drafted?
I think we kind of alluded to a few of them. I mean,
going back, would you have, if you could right now, have taken or traded up to get Mobley, would you have done that over Barnes?
If I saw what I've seen to this point,
yes.
If I had that knowledge,
you had this knowledge right now. If you could turn around the time, no,
wouldn't do
it. Barnes.
Yeah.
Would you have taken Green over Barnes?
As crazy as this might sound, no.
Okay. All right. I like that. You? No. You know what? I really like Scottie. I think the fit it's like a puzzle piece, man.
But that's the thing, right?
It's a perfect fit, I think, for this team. And Masai and Weber, they know what it's like. The last thing you want is to bring somebody in who doesn't want to play for you, who doesn't know what it takes to become a star in the league. What were Scottie Barnes' first words when he got drafted? I'm ready to work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is not someone who's afraid to put the hours in, right?
And and that's the thing that you have to look at. You look at the top 5 picks. Okay, Mobley was quiet. He didn't say anything stupid. Cunningham was quiet because he was the first overall pick, and he's going to have a nice contract. Anyway. He's also very, very quiet. But then you had Jalen Green, who was like, I have a chip on my shoulder because I didn't get drafted number 1. And even if I was to get drafted number 1 overall, I didn't want it to be in Detroit. You didn't need to say that.
Yeah, that's one of those,
and that just shows me that you're young and you're immature, and your game might be ready for the league, but your brain's not ready for the league.
Well, and the other thing too is a kind of a player that would say something like that is someone who's satisfied with just making the league. I don't think Scottie's just satisfied just playing in the NBA. This man wants to win.
He already knew what he had to do, and it was putting in work. You close this, you lift, you practice, you condition, and you let your game do the talking. And yeah, Jalen Green's going to be a great scorer in the league, but the league's filled with great scorers. The league doesn't need more great scorers. The league needs better basketball players, better all around, fundamentally sound basketball players. I'm not talking like James Naismith fundamental basketball, but I'm talking fundamental basketball, team basketball.
Yeah, one thing I didn't see from the other rookies that were drafted higher than Scottie was them talking on the court. Right, you didn't see that necessary that leadership that we see already from Scottie. So. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're Raptors fans, so we appreciate Scottie and what he's going to do for this team. So we're excited to see what he's going to do next. All right, Junior, anything else?
That's it for me. I'm excited to get this season started.
We're all set. Yeah, I'm ready to get rolling here. I want to see some I'm hoping that there's going to be some of that Bell footage, where they kind of go behind the scenes there and give us some of that stuff before the season starts up, because I want to see how – bring in the starters and that stuff and Scottie and these young players together, because, one thing that Toronto does well is they learn from each other on the basketball court. Mm-hmm. Pivotal.
It's open gym, right?
Open gym. That's right. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I'm sure that's already going on right now.
Yeah. I can't wait to see some of that stuff. Well, Scottie's been mic'd up for some of this stuff, which is why we hear him talk. Right. So, great role model for this team. And, he personifies what Toronto basketball is all about. So, with that's going to be a wrap for us. I want to thank you for joining us here at the Raptors Den. Please follow us on our Instagram, and please comment below what you thought about the Raptors draft picks and summer league and so on, and who you think might start and whatnot. And hit that subscribe button and like. It's the easiest way to help grow us, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So for everybody here at Offside and Bounds, the Raptors Den, I'm Adam.
I'm Junior, and we're gonna see you real soon.